doing in a joint like this. Today we've got pie, Asian prostitutes, and weed cigarettes. I wouldn't shit you. You're my favorite turd. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, fans of Archer, and welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. You can see we're down one lovely soul. Our adorable, fearless leader, Greg Goodness, has gone the way of Woodhouse and has departed this earthly plane, or at least our studio space.
Yeah, he's alive, guys.
I'm sorry, he's not dead, but he will not be returning back for this season. So we miss Greg. We love him. Maybe he will send us some updates, or maybe one day just pop in the chat. I'm going to try to encourage him to do that because I know you guys love yourself some Gregs. We love Greg.
Heck yeah.
But we are here. Me, Alexis, and we're very excited to talk about these two episodes, Berenice and Jane Doe. I'm Joelle. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
And I'm Alexis Torres. You guys can find me all over the interwebs. Yeah, I said it. The interwebs at Torres890.
Look at that early aughts teenager lingo. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Isn't it the bomb?
It is the bomb. What's not the bomb is that Archer has pissed off a lot of people in a singular episode. In one episode, we start episode 2 saying I pissed off dirty cops, 2 criminal bosses, and a man who likes to melt people for fun. It's not been a good time for Archer.
But I feel like this is typical Archer fashion. He's always pissing off like it's not even like just one person. It's like a grand amount of people.
Yes.
And you're just like, dude, I don't understand how you do this within 24 hours.
It's a lot. And now Cheryl's at his door. Cheryl, Carol. Oh my God, I know she has a new name in this one. I'm going to call her Vandertunt for now.
Because that's all I hear now. It's just Vandertunt. I am the heiress. And I'm like, all right, okay.
It's just such a great last name, though.
It is. But it's very close to another name that I'm like,
Yes, I feel you. Yeah. But she wants to die to escape her somewhat incestuous four. Just 4.
I just love how people have to ask, though. They're like, how many? And then she's like, I don't know, 4?
I'm wondering if this is because it's the 40s and they're like, incest happens sometimes. So how incestuous? Because 4, everyone's like, meh. And I'm like, 1 would be a problem for me.
I don't know why you have to go into doubles.
Semantics. Like, it's just weird and gross. Maybe 0 incest for the best.
That would be great.
But she wants to escape her megalomaniac family, and she offers, well, not really offers, kind of demands $10K and that he take her body.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I couldn't really tell what was happening.
It was a weird exchange, and I feel like Archer should have gotten some paperwork done first, like some signatures signed, something.
I mean, but he also wasn't in the right mind because of the fact that his entire office just got ransacked.
Yeah, it's been a crazy day for Archer.
We talked about last week. I was like, you should have just taken the money with you.
You really should have. Why leave it? I don't. I mean, I guess you think it's going to be safe in your safe. One would think, but no, not for Archer, not ever, and especially after last season.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess subconsciously is what's happening here. You put it in a safe, the video got stolen, same thing is happening here all over again. One cool thing, when Archer takes off his shirt, he has, 2 bullet wounds, and I think 6 slashing kind of scars, and I'm trying to think, I think these are he was shot twice when he went into the pool.
Yes, he was. Right, actually, in that area, too.
Yeah, so one of these are actually the same scars, and then I couldn't account for the stabbings, but I just thought it was interesting, the details.
I always feel like Archer's being stabbed usually throughout the seasons. I can't recollect all of them. If you guys know, that would be awesome.
I hope someone did, I don't know if you guys watch, cop thrillers on TV, but they usually have, yes, right? Okay, so we're all TV people here. Sometimes you see they have, that body outline and the corners, marked it on the spot. I really hope they have, a canon one at, in the writer's room, yes, okay, so this is where Archer's been shot, and here's where he's been stabbed throughout the show, and we're keeping it canon. We're not going from that.
Yeah.
So, they have sex, and apparently do your worst. But what I really meant was...
And I was just like, this is really awkward. I mean, even when she was like... Put something over her head, and I was like, this is where you get awkward. It wasn't the fact that you were just absolutely crazy, but no, for God's sakes, don't let the dead body watch me while I make love to this random stranger.
Both times they have sex is really awkward. The first time, Archer apparently doesn't get all the way up, and we have a lot of jokes throughout the episode. Berenice, half cocked, wasn't so hard, was it? Taking my load, move dick. Plant a few seeds.
He was stabbed literally in the back by Conway.
Yes. Thank you, chat. You're beautiful.
Yep.
But after they fornicate, they have the sex, and then they go and they get pie and codeine because Archer's ears hurt. They take codeine like peppermint pills, which
That's
is
what it
hilarious.
felt like. I was like, what is these, like Tic Tacs? Like, I don't understand what's happening.
Maybe don't just eat it by the handful. It's concerning, but also zesty.
Yeah, apparently.
What is it? I would like to know. I'm not a codeine taker. I think I maybe took some after I got my wisdom teeth removed. Yeah. Zesty codeine, not a thing I knew existed. Maybe would have taken that option had I known.
Maybe it's just, it sounds refreshing, but at the same time, don't need it. So.
We also get this moment where Cheryl says, why do you think my dad started the Spanish-American War? Because he knocked out my aunt. Now, because we've already talked about incestuous, which aunt? His sister or your mother's sister?
Yeah, see, that's where I was kind of like, I don't know where the line is. They didn't clarify, and I was like, well, that's still family. They're blood related. We can move on now.
I would love to know your thoughts, guys. The Spanish-American War, they're saying Sugar in the show technically is a land dispute over who would be colonized and who wouldn't.
Yeah.
What I like about old wars is they were short. 3 months, 3 weeks, 2 days.
Was that how long it was?
Yes.
I missed that completely.
20,000 people dead.
Jesus Christ.
Most from illness. Crazy. War is nuts.
Maybe they just needed some zesty codeine.
Just get right back out in the field, soldier. We don't have time for this.
We don't have time for any of this.
Cheryl also makes the comment that she can't just bring back the maid. Okay, I'll skip over. So they get the pie. Archer trying to probe Cheryl about how they're going to cover up her death. Like, did you think about things? They're going to be looking for you, all this stuff. But Cheryl's kind of a little bit of step ahead. She's got a dead body in the trunk. The maid who her brother knocked up and a drunk abortionist killed.
I just, the stories are getting crazy with our victims at this point in time.
Yeah, it's a little, like, how long have you had this body? She also...
She's discolored.
Yeah, it's not good.
And it's not rigor mortis yet, because clearly they're able to move her in whatever way, shape they want, but at the same time, it's just weird.
It's not a good look.
Yeah.
Just to be rolling around
Also,
with a dead
does she
body.
smell yet? Like, I don't understand how people are just like, oh my god, yeah, she looks a little pale and sick. I'm like, she's dead.
That girl's not alive. That's not drunk. That's not what drunk at the bar looks like.
Yeah, or she said saloon, and I was like, what? Okay, were people in the 40s calling bars saloons at this point in time? I hope not.
Seems weird, especially in like an inner city, but what can you do?
Whatever.
Cheryl also makes this comment of bringing a voodoo priest to bring back a dead loved one, and now the family brings it up every like holiday. And I'm like,
so is this our new gypsy woman? It's like the gypsy woman said.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about. Yes, this voodoo priest must be the gypsy woman. And I also, the line made it like, it was vague. Like, how many times have you had to hire a voodoo priest to bring back someone to life?
How many times have they gone to that gypsy woman all through the seasons?
You know, when you have Vandertup money, you don't really have to worry about it. It's not
You can
a
do
thing.
whatever you want, clearly. Sleep with whoever you want, talk to whatever voodoo priestess that you ever want, like, whatever.
Yes. So then we
Gross.
join Lenny and, oh my gosh, Cyborg, formerly, now Lenny's right-hand guy, got his feet cut off, name. Why am I blanking?
Oh my god, I don't remember his name. It starts with a B.
Worst.
No, it's late.
Barry, there we go.
Yeah, I was like, it starts with a B. Benny.
So Barry and Lenny are in the hospital. Barry has lost his feet. Lost is it? They were taken.
Well, yeah, they were rolling. They were gone. They were rolling over, smushed. They were dead.
So now, footless and a little distraught, Barry is trying to come to terms with his amputation, and Lenny doesn't have time for that shit. All of the slapping to the face. Pull yourself together.
And then he's
Lenny.
like, oh.
Poor choice of words, Lenny. But he's got a job to do. He did not hire him to be sorry. He hired him to make people sorry.
Which I love that line, by the way.
So Lenny's kind of a boss here. Like, before I was always like, oh, Lenny,
he was just
whatever.
like, I'm a sweetheart and I'm here to be here. And I was like, oh no, he's a crime boss and he's scary.
I like that this is a really nice view into Archer's kind of psyche of Lenny, because we always saw Lenny as like the nice squishy guy that kind of lived with Mallory, and Mallory liked him because he was malleable.
Yeah.
But here he's like a totally hard ass like crime boss.
But I also love that Barry is just a giant pussycat.
Yeah, it's just whiny and complaining. Like real life Barry would be like, okay, well, give me some prosthetics and let's hit the road.
Let's move on. Yeah.
But yeah, so he has to make a call to someone, and we finally learned what Krieger's really doing. We knew he wasn't a bartender.
We talked about it. I mean, he's a bartender by night, doctor by night. I don't even know at this point.
What does Krieger do with his days, really?
Sleeps, it sounds like.
Hopefully. But he's German, first of all, and post World War II in America.
That's why I was like, isn't that kind of suspicious and also kind of dangerous for you?
I have some Nazi questions for Krieger. But what were you doing? Also, he's gonna build him mechanical feet. And I look forward to seeing. I bet they're not human looking at all.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping that they're going to be mechanically terrible.
Yes, just awful, cool Krieger-esque things.
Or just like made out of wood. I would laugh.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Nazi Krieger come to fruition because it's really exciting. Also, okay, so then. Also with Krieger is not just working for Lenny, but he's also working for Mama. Like, so he's pulling dual sides, and I wonder who knows how much is known. I'm confused.
Well, no, like correct. Like it's kind of weird because usually in crime boss kind of history and scenarios and things like that in movie and television, there's usually like a lineup of like who knows what and who takes this part of property or who's like which territory. Like it's kind of all over the place right now because we're only in episode 3 and 4 or 2 and 3. So yeah,
we'll see. We'll save that for predictions. Okay.
Yeah.
So we cut back to Archer and Cheryl trying to bring in this dead body.
Yeah.
Girlfriend, why would you try to take a dead body through a revolving door?
Because she's Cheryl, Charlene, Charlotte, I don't even know at this point, Vandertunt, and she wants everything done, fancily, and she
wastes less air conditioning. The door is wide open.
I mean, that air conditioning is being wasted now.
It's just walk through the open door, you fool. But they get upstairs, and Archer has the brilliant idea to put makeup on the corpse.
Dear God, I love how he's like, I'm just trying to get all the blue out. I was like, this broad is dead.
Guys,
D-E-D dead.
Lipstick goes on the lips.
I love it's like it's on the chin, in the corner.
Not around. That's gross. At one point, Cheryl says a very interesting line where she says, I won't have to degrade her like so much force meat. So I had to look it up.
You actually looked that up?
I did look up force meat.
Google search on.
It is a mixture of ground lean meat mixed with fat by either grinding, shivving, or pureeing the ingredients.
Gross.
If you guys look at pictures,
what are you supposed to use that?
It's foul. If you've ever seen an olive loaf,
that
is force meat. It's all blended together and then repackaged very tightly. It looks foul and is oftentimes put into like a meatloaf. European, like old school European, like where everything was boiled and stuff and mashed together. Like it's gross food. You don't want that. It's nasty. But yeah, eventually Cheryl decides that she wants to have sex with. What I like most about their sexual relationship right now is Archer's still like ambivalent about it. He's like, oh, it's happening? I guess. Okay.
It's very interesting because usually in outside of Archer's dreamland, he's usually just like, oh, we're doing this. All right, here we go. But here it seems like he's kind of hesitant every single time.
Yeah, and I feel like, we've talked before in previous seasons, like, Archer's definitely a sex addict. Like, he hides behind it. Like, he loves just kind of, he disappears sometimes, and a lot of times from his mother. But here to see the reluctance and to see that he is uncomfortable with it, for a second, anyway.
And then obviously he gets over it pretty quickly.
Yes.
Which is fine.
His dick goes back to working round 2. It's great. They cover Berenice's eyes with a pot.
Yeah.
Y'all don't respect this woman at all.
No crap.
I kind of hope we get a flashback with Berenice at some point. Maybe her real name, because we don't even know why at this point she is Berenice.
I mean, they just did that because obviously it was like a Weekend at Bernie kind of thing and just named her Bernice for that aspect.
Oh, you're so smart. I totally missed it. Right over my head. You're so smart. Yes, Bernice, Uncle Bernie, copy, done.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we've got Pam, and I need to write things down because...
Cyril?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pam and Cyril are talking. Cyril is in hot water with Lenny because he lost his whores.
Yeah, the Chinese whores that are all just enjoying life at Pam's place.
How great are Pam's visions of the future?
Oh my God, it's adorable.
I feel like Pam deserves that, and I also feel like she treats those women... She's like, obviously we'll vote on it. I'm like, right, because they're not whores or slaves to you, Pam. They're people. You just want to keep them.
Yeah, just to have as company.
Just to keep you, just really to take care of Pam. Her queerness this season is like with the haircut and always wearing the suit and being like the only lady we've seen on the detective force so far. I really like queer Pam.
No, it's quite great. I'm enjoying it. And she's always kind of, she's played for both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's fantastic. So I do love that she's not really playing on the dude's side right now. She's more into the ladies, which I'm totally fine with. But yeah, she's she's just like kind of like a level up. But I also can see why Archer would put her as more queer Pam.
And again, diving into Archer's psyche, we get Pam as like his best friend again. Like we
favorite turd.
Yes. The fact that she is still glowy, like warm-hearted Pam that we have always loved, and as opposed to like Pam on the outside can kind of, you know, like I feel like they're similar, as opposed to some like Lana is just a total like kind of ice cold queen here.
Yes, which that kind of makes sense for Archer.
Yeah, no, she's just that far out of his reach, and he has no idea what to say to her or how to win her heart. You know, Mother is pretty much the same.
Correct.
Pam's pretty much the same. Cyril is surprisingly cunning. And kind of intimidating
and kind of cocky. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm very intrigued to see why he thinks Cyril is like that when he clearly makes fun of him all the time. But that also makes sense of why he makes fun of him all the time to make it seem like he's actually lower than what he is. And I'm like,
we're getting to learn a lot more about Archer's insecurities in very subtle ways,
which is great because the fact that, you know, one, he was clearly upset about Woodhouse. I mean, we know that we've seen him how he treats Woodhouse. So I'm very happy that he was upset with his death. You know, and things, and just I really love the fact that we're getting to know Archer on a whole different level. Like, it's nice, you know.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. He's definitely fleshed out more of a person. So as they're driving, Cyril asked Pam, "To whose profit? When Trexler loses, who gains?" And of course, at this point, all signs point to Mother. She's the rival crime boss. And we're still not quite sure what her motives are. She just wants Archer to be somewhere on time, and he just never will do it.
Never will do it.
So they go and talk to Mother. Mother basically says, "Hey, I do Jack. I don't have to tell you, Jack, and you can leave whenever you're ready." Cheryl doesn't take very well, but what can he do at this point?
Yeah, exactly.
Then we jump back to they're moving Berenice from the lobby.
Oh my god. Can we talk about this scene? Because the fact that literally we didn't have a scene where they were just like, oh, it didn't seem that bad. And then we cut to literally all the things that we would love to see, but we didn't get that. Like the one lady who had her dress completely ripped from the front. The guy who had his legs caught in the chandelier. Little kid freaking out. I think, what was it, like a fish?
His fish, yeah, dead flopping fish on the floor.
Yeah, and there was a bunch of other people who were either dead or knocked out or just sprawled out.
Furniture is everywhere. There's glass.
There's a fire. I was like, what? How did you get from point A to point B?
Cheryl, why do you think that's the most reasonable it could have been expected to go?
And I love how he was just like, okay. And I was like, what did you guys do?
What happened? I have a lot of questions. We didn't get that. This episode kind of reminded me of the episode from last season with the deranged clowns at the party scene.
Oh my god, that was so creepy.
In that episode, we get so many really dope fight scenes. But here, instead of getting any kind of fight scenes or the big action drama pieces, we're kind of skipping over that and letting you fill in the blanks yourself, which is kind of fun. I think if someone initially had asked me, I'd be like, hell yeah, I want to see what happens.
Of course.
But I like kind of having to fill in the gaps here, and then I'll just jump a little bit ahead. At the police station, we don't see the road, we don't see the battle, but they give us enough visual cues and evidence to kind of fill in the blanks ourselves. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that it kind of works in your dreams, because sometimes you don't know why you got from point A to point B. It just kind of happens, and then you just move on from there, and hopefully you'll remember later.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hopping in and out. I tried to, if anyone out there in our Twitterverse, YouTube space, iTunes speaks German and can read what Krieger wrote on the paper, I'm endlessly fascinated and I tried to do like a Google Translate, but my eyes were not great and I couldn't quite read the whole page. He's making a foot. That's all you really need to know, but I'm throwing it out there. If you can translate and tell me what's written on the page, I bet it's hilarious because I
want to know what his notes are.
And the Archer people never skip around. Like there's all these Easter eggs everywhere.
They're putting a lot of work.
I want to know. We get another great rim shot moment.
Oh my god, every time. And I love it. Just stop. Just like in the background really quickly.
Especially because the joke's not even that funny.
It's not. It's
Wouldn't
just
they be
really
like,
terrible.
cave yes, but I'm Jinx. Stop it. Ray. Amazing.
Yep.
Okay, yes. I love when Lana walks into the bar.
Yeah, she has that little glow that she has.
Yes, they give her all the facial glows, all of the behind backlit.
She looks so good.
She's ethereal. She is wearing that red dress.
I need more of that, even though she's a terrible comedian, which we'll get to.
Yes. Yeah. But of course, Cheryl Carroll is there.
Oh my god.
And she sees that there's a crush. And in her desire to help, she says, "We just fucked."
Yeah, no, like straight up.
Like literally yells it across the room as though this will help anyone achieve anything. It doesn't seem to affect Lana at all, one way or the other.
She doesn't care about Archer right now, clearly. So I was just like, of course. But I love Archer's face. He was just
yes.
What the hell just happened?
I feel like that's the most screwed up we've seen Archer's face maybe ever. Like, it's so animated and so like...
Well, yeah, because we've never really seen him shocked.
Yes.
So it's very interesting to see him shocked, like, ever. So it was very cool to just have that moment of just like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I was just like, yeah, we've been asking that for episodes
so long.
Years now.
So they finally checked in with Mother. They have the maid Beatrice in the backseat.
Oh my God.
They're driving up the coast to dump the body. They've decided they're going to burn it, throw the car over a cliff, and that will be the best way to fake Cheryl Carroll's death.
Yep. Joelle had a great time watching me react to this scene because I was not ready when Cheryl, Charlotte, whatever the hell you want to call Charlene, was like, we're being followed. And he's like, no, there's no headlights, there's nothing behind us. No, I swear we're being followed. And he's like, no, we're not being followed. And so he stops the car because, as very Carol-like, she tends to just keep repeating herself because, hell, whatever. And he gets out, and I'm like, okay, something bad's going to happen. But I wasn't expecting what was going to happen.
I wasn't expecting it either. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah, he gets hit by a freaking car.
And not a car that was following him or intended him harm, but like just a nice family whose headlights didn't turn on. Sorry.
Maybe you should actually just be careful of where you're going. Like,
oh my
why are you
God.
driving if your headlights don't work? On a cliff, on a mountain cliff. Like, what the hell? And I love but we had a very interesting scene where he's obviously writhing in pain. And I was like, how are you able to walk? And I'm like, right, Alexis Dreamland, duh. She's like, we cut to World War II, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And we have a nun actually, speaking over him in French.
Nun.
Which I was like, that's awesome. I was like, get it, girl. And she pulls a gun from his jacket and starts shooting at somebody, but clearly it's Charlene shooting our family, who are just like, oh, we didn't mean it. It was just headlights don't work. And I was like, a hit and run? No, nobody cares. Nobody. We're just gonna move on. Okay.
I like that in Dreamland, Archer can experience post-traumatic stress, which is something he definitely doesn't allow himself to process in the real world. It's all kind of way pushed down in that subconscious.
I think there's a lot of things way pushed down in his subconscious that he doesn't want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for an ocelot in one of these episodes. It's gonna happen.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. So the car hits him. He's okay. He pops back up. But then it turns out they were being followed. Oops. Impulse, Cyril, and Pam. And Cyril has just won himself like the best prize, because not only does he finally get to take down that dick Archer, but also he's got a Vandertut, which means money.
Oh yeah.
So he's gonna book her as a Jane Doe. He arrests Archer. End of that episode.
Heck yeah.
So moving on to Jane Doe.
Man, this episode was actually really fun.
I loved this episode.
So good.
The black musicians, for obvious reasons,
they were so
were
good.
My favorite.
They were so good.
Token white boy in the group.
But also the fact that he's a gay white boy makes it even better.
It really does. It really does. Okay. So they book her as Jane Doe, and then they put her solitary in the sub-basement.
I can't believe that they did that. I'm like, this woman is crazy. I mean, I know why they did it, because they're like, let's just protect her. But I'm like, no. I mean, this poor woman, we'll get to it, but like, this poor woman thought that she was in there for like years. And I was like, girl, you only been there for half an hour. Like, I don't even know what's happening.
Calm down, Cheryl. Girl. It's going to be fine. And then, of course, as we talked a little about earlier, Pam dreams of being an old guy, essentially. She's an old man with like a comb over in her lazy boy chair.
In her lazy boy chair, eating noodles and dealing with every single one of those Chinese whores or ladies.
Like living with chickens, she says.
Yeah. That's all she wanted.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. Oh, we missed it, but what she said in the last episode where she wanted that place smelling like lemon pledge.
Oh no.
And orange chicken. I was just like, no, writers, you're really hitting the head. Like, you're really hitting us over the head with this racist stuff. Like, it's insane. I'm like, I know we didn't live in the 40s, but damn.
It's intense. It's real. But you know what I like about it, though, is that when they say it in front of people who are people of color, like, they get checked on it really fast.
Yes,
and I feel like that makes it okay for me. Like, these conversations happen, these tones happen in real life.
They do?
Just as, yeah, I mean, people are racist.
Yeah.
Like, so what annoys me is when racism happens in shows and they just brush it off like nothing happened, or then it never gets addressed. No one ever gets checked for it.
No, it's happening a lot in this one.
I can't stand for that. So I was really proud of these guys. I think they're handling their era very well. So turns out Ray is in the same cell as Archer.
Because...
with his 3 black bandmates, who are amazing.
I love them.
Because Ray can't keep his big mouth shut.
Yeah.
His marijuana cigarette. I love it.
I just love that he kept saying it over and over. He's like, especially because he was getting upset the second time that they got caught because they were passing it around without him. And he's like, I just want to take a hit off this damn marijuana cigarette lights. And I'm like, wow. And the second time they were just like, wow, this marijuana cigarette is the best.
He's got no chill. You got to relax. You're trying way too hard.
Why are you screaming? Like, I don't understand what was the point in that. Don't scream. Just be like, dude, give it to me. You know?
It's just straight foolishness. So then Archer decides that he's going to use Ray as a distraction. So he punches him real hard in the guts, so he vomits, which causes a chain reaction, essentially, of vomiting. Not helped by Pie Officer, who I don't believe we got a name, so I'm calling him Pie Officer.
He doesn't have a name.
Who said, I'm going to make you clean this vomit up and then suck the mop, which is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's so gross. But I'm also really glad that they were all so grossed out, besides Archer, but they all threw up too. And I was like, yes.
It's amazing.
Because it's gross.
We see Archer pull some really cool fast hand action where he grabs the cop and steals his pie in the same kind of swift movement, which I really appreciated seeing, like, cool, calm, collected, like, dope Archer back. You know, we've seen, he's been kind of mopey. He's dealing with a lot of internal emotional conflicts, which is great. It's good character development. But seeing just, like, okay, I need these things and you're going to give them to me, Archer, it just filled my heart with old love and goodness.
Yeah.
So they get out. I'm sorry. I have to go. What's this? What? Back one little bit.
Yeah.
Ray, I'm kind of the band leader. Ray, you either are or you are not.
You need to. You can't be in the middle, buddy.
You did not serve in the army, and literally everyone else around you was in the army.
Oh, he's so funny.
You need to calm down.
He thinks that he's so slick, and I think it's just like, no, Ray, not this time. Because he's usually pretty. He's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah,
but not in this group. Not this time around.
No, not at all. He's a total dweeb, which is actually kind of fun to watch him play. What did you think about their conversations about race and the military?
It was very interesting because the fact that it made sense, because in this time sadly enough, a lot of people who were of color that were segregated in the military had to do just minimal things like handing coffee to other officers or cleaning everything that you can think of that has nothing to do with the military in like war sense. But there are also other people, like our third guy that we find out later on that he was in a tank.
Yeah,
that's huge.
What do you say, the 179th Patton's Panthers, which is really dope. I do not know. I didn't have time to research that one.
No, but he saved them, out of the bulge or something.
At the Battle of the Bulge. Yes, yes.
So like, and I love that he's like, well, I feel like an asshole, and he's like,
can't help you with that, son.
And I was like, yes!
Beautiful, beautiful. So like these guys immediately, I hope that they are staples throughout this season.
I hope that they don't die.
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think that they add a lot more comedy than we usually get from our usual cast of misfits on this one. It's just kind of nice. I know that there are probably a lot of black actors that I can't pinpoint right off the gate. Somebody said that this is probably Key or Peele. Probably.
That would not surprise me if they came back.
Yeah.
There definitely was a voice I was like, who is that person?
Yeah,
but I don't know.
The shorter band member, the bigger guy, I feel like I can't remember the actor's name, but he usually plays the bigger black guy in most things as a police officer, and I can't remember for the life of me what he's
We will look it up and report back next week.
I'm terrible at that. But like, yeah, it's just really nice, and I love that they, like I said, there were parts where you and I were like, ooh, I feel really uncomfortable right now. But again, they retort, and it's always something real good, and then we just like, all right, fine, okay, I'm done, and then we move on.
Speaking of uncomfortable, Lana doing stand-up.
Oh my God, how much syphilis conversation jokes do you need?
Like, I understand syphilis is a big deal post-World War II, and on top of that, like, no one should ever do stand-up comedy last minute as like we have nothing else. You've never done it before. Hop up there and give us an hour of entertainment. Like, you will fail. Lana, as smart and as beautiful as she is, could not make that work. You will not make it work either. Terrible idea. on Mother's behalf.
Yeah.
But hey, what are you gonna do? The band's in jail. No one knows where they are. Didn't return from their smoke break. You gotta do something.
I mean, yeah, I was like, Alana, just sing acoustically. Everybody will love your voice. It'll be fine. Or I don't know. I mean, I love how she's like, well, what do you want me to do? Do a striptease? I was obviously joking. Yes, you are. And I was like, oh, Mother, you're so rude.
Or even as she's bombing, I think someone's like, show us your tits. And Mother's like, well.
And I was like, God dang it.
I mean, you're bombing up, like, just. Although I have to say, I felt like some of hers had like a good zing to it. I chuckled a bit, and I was like, the crowd could give her something.
But I feel like it's just not that crowd, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we go back to the prison. The guys think they're breaking out, but Archer has other plans. He has to go get Vandertut, which is an interesting thing to me, because I feel like maybe real life Archer, like, he might go back, but it would take like Alana or somebody being like, okay, we can't leave her behind.
It would be Cyril or Ray or Lana. Those are the three people that would be like, you need to go back and go get her. And he's like, do we though? But I feel like deep down he would do it, but I just think it would just take a little bit of coaxing.
I mean, he kind of needs the money here, but also doesn't really seem like he's doing it for that. It seems like he genuinely wants to go help her out.
I think that he's generally a good person. He's just trying to pretend to be somebody else.
Yes. So the band gets her. They're confused when they figure out why, because she is, as they say, bad shit. She asks, how long have I been in here? How are there Negro cops? How long have there been Negro cops in L.A.? And apparently since like 1883?
86.
Yes, and we had Big Beat Walking Pop.
I love that's his name. I don't even know if that's even true, because we didn't get to do research before like we usually do, but I just love that there was a name and then there was a nickname. I was like, clearly someone did their research.
I believe the cop is correct. I'm not sure about Big Beat Walking Bob, but I like that that's the ad lib that they come up with. That is hilarious.
I love that.
But she's like, you guys are my first Negroes, and I was like, well, this is atypical.
This is where we're at.
This is okay, Cheryl, Carol. Okay, all right.
We talk about how we don't want to move on. I actually do want to move on now, because it's getting to the point where I'm just like, all right, we get it. They're Negroes. Let's move on, please.
Yes, they're black. We made the point. Everyone's up to date.
Everybody knows. Everybody got the update. It's on their phones, just like when they put U2 in your iTunes. We get it. They're black. Move on.
So then, as they're escaping, they run into Pam. Now, Pam doesn't have her service weapon. She had to check it at the door.
Because she's a good cop.
Yes, but also she cannot let them leave, and we get classic Fighting Pam back.
I love Fighting Pam.
Fighting Pam. And as soon as she cracks her neck with her knuckles, I was like, it's go time. And once again, as we stated earlier, we don't get the fight, but you get the bloody, bloody aftermath. And not only are all of them bloodied and beat up, the band, Archer, but so is Pam. The only one unscathed is Cheryl, who's kind of sexually stimulating herself via her nipple.
She was all in it. She was like grabbing boob and everything, and she was like, that best day ever. And I was like, Cheryl, please, for the love of God, keep it together.
Some composure, girl. Like,
but
just
I can imagine her though during that fight. She's probably in the corner, like. And then, like, in the back of me, you know, and you're like, oh my God.
Me harder.
Yeah, and I was like, stop. But I also really want Pam to be like, all right.
I'm about it.
But also going, oh my God, there's something wrong with you.
So someone does wind up cuffing Pam to a pipe.
I'm assuming it's Archer.
Cheryl creates a really great distraction for them by pulling the fire alarm. And then... Wait, it's the fire alarm, something else, and then they get the key.
Yeah, from Pam, I think.
Yeah, Pam's like, you idiots, you can't, how are you going to get in there without Cheryl causes a distraction? Archer's like, great, now she's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
And then the sprinklers went off.
Oh, yeah, sprinklers, great, everyone will be wet and distracted. She's like, guys, you need the key.
Yeah.
And she gives it to them, which is a little convenient, but it's Pam. And she likes Archer.
Because she's a good cop, you know, and she's Archer's best friend. Again, her favorite turd. So it makes sense why she's doing it, but at the same time, she has to at least try. But I don't know how I feel about what happens next with Cyril.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just go with that since we're there right now.
Sure.
So Cyril comes down while the guys go upstairs to get their fingerprint records so they can erase the fact that they were ever arrested and then escaped.
Can you imagine if that's all you needed? Was just a fingerprint card? Oh my God.
Crimes used to be so much easier to commit, guys.
I mean, we're not
I'm not advocating for it.
But that was what it was. It was just like, oh no, there's no fingerprints. Well, I guess it's unsolved. And then we just move on with our lives.
No crime. Move forward.
Now it's not like CSI where it's like, I found sperm in the couch. Like, what the hell?
So many details.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cyril comes down. He finds Pam. He questions her. What happened? How did you let Archer escape? and Vandertut, which is Cyril's way out of his predicament.
Yeah, I love that he was actually. I love the one thing I did love was that Archer is so smart in his own subconscious, which makes sense that he was able to figure out everything just by a noise of some sort. So when Cyril was like, and he was like, god dang it, or when he said Jane Doe, pretty much he was like, oh man, and then he runs over to Lenny and pretty much tells the entire thing of like, oh, but then we thought it was kind of weird that Lenny was like, bring her to me, I want to meet her. We're like,
I have a lot of questions for why Lenny wants to keep Cheryl Carroll that close.
Oh wait, no, Archer did say it, didn't they? That they were gonna use her as ransom. Oh no.
Yeah, but you could do that with her in prison. Like,
yeah,
we just don't understand why Lenny wants to meet her.
He wants to marry her.
Says she's fascinating and that she might be interesting.
Maybe he wants to marry her so he can get part of the fortune.
I mean, that's a much you get a part of it, or you can own it. So that's legitimate.
Maybe he'll marry her and then kill her.
Oh my goodness. It's possible. I don't know. Anything's possible with Lenny this season. He's the most different of any of the characters.
And I'm okay with this.
No, totally. It's great. I like the tone and inflection of his voice has not changed at all.
Yeah.
He still has that kind of like soft,
nasally kind of voice.
Yeah, with the weird kind of spacing between words. He's got a weird cadence.
Yeah.
And then Berenice, which is much harsher, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The guys are upstairs. They get their fingerprint cards.
Oh god, I don't even remember the name. Did you write it down?
It was Phil McCracken.
Oh my god, I was like, please stop. Also,
Sir.
that sounds like something that Ray would put and think that it's the funniest thing in the world, and it's just not.
Ray, that's corny as hell.
I mean, but he's
Stop
also
it.
corny as hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they get out. They're almost free. Like, they, after going through everything, like deciding who's gonna be a cop, like getting Cheryl Carroll, getting their fingerprints, they get outside and they're stopped by a cop. Still, they keep their composure. They're like, oh, we have to transfer this prisoner for mental health. No, you ruined it. You ruined
and
it.
everyone was like, what the hell, man? And
That's
he's
not
like,
a thing that happens.
No, you could have just stopped it there. We're transferring the reefer criminals. Oh, okay. For rehabilitation and something else. And he's like, what?
Frustrations. So they're able to escape and get to Mother's. We cut back to Dreamland, the bar, and we get what I was really excited about, which is a time stamp, essentially.
Yeah.
Lana says that Al Capone recently died of syphilis, which of course starts her whole syphilis trend.
Jesus Christ.
But we learned, so Al Capone dies January 25th, 1947. So we're at least 2 years post-war.
Okay.
The war ends in 1945, so maybe a year and some change. I'm not sure of the exact date of the end of the war. So yeah, I don't know, January 25th, 1947. It's at least that date in this universe, which was cool for me.
Yeah.
So they go upstairs, and Mother is not happy that Archer has missed a second appointment.
I mean, I don't blame her.
Yes. She's mad that the band wasn't there. She's mad that Lana didn't think. She's pretty pissed.
Yep.
All told. So she sends the band and Lana out. She's like, look, guys, I'm done with you. Perform. Do it. Don't be late again. Unacceptable.
And don't get arrested for reefer ever again.
You people.
Yeah.
Negroes or musicians? We don't know.
I know. I love that. Yeah, it was like Negroes or musicians.
Pick one.
You could just pick one. Oh, what's the difference? I was like, Mal, shut up.
Old racist white lady.
Yeah.
We learned that Patton's Panthers, the guy was involved with that, and Archer has a newfound respect, and Mother has a new plan for Archer and Vandertut.
And pretty much bet that she's going to try to get the ransom money now.
Yeah.
And she was so excited. She was just like, best day ever.
Yeah, when they said, you want to see your daughter bit by bit through the mail?
Yep. That means literally cutting her up and throwing her in the mail. Disgusting. Also, can totally see Mom doing that if she really needed to. Especially with her goon, which I don't even know his name.
I'll be interested to see like what kind of criminal she was before she became a crime boss. Because in Ms. Archer, outside of Archer's conscious, is, you know, she was a badass, like, super spy before she becomes the head of ISIS.
Yep.
Here, I'm wondering if she was like a badass criminal. Was she like have a switchblade in the 20s? Was she like a chorus girl who, I don't know,
information?
Yeah, like killed her mob lover and took over his like stuff. Like literally any storyline. I just want to know how she came into this position of power.
I would love that. Or killed the club owner and now she owns the club.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
But we'll have to wait until next week to find out. Until then, let's do some predictions.
Ooh yeah.
Ooh.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Oh, hello, lights.
Predictions.
Oh,
yes, it's that time again. Time for predictions. Things are not going well for Archer. Like, this guy cannot catch a break.
He's trying, but I feel like that's always how he is every
Yes.
single time. But I feel like this one's a little bit more difficult for us because of the fact that he's in such a terrible situation.
Well, he's usually not emotionally invested,
Yeah.
you know, or if he is, it's kind of like outside of the case. Like he's using the case to hide from his emotions, whereas you're kind of living in his emotions, solving a case and trying to figure out like what's wrong. So it's kind of a reversal, and it definitely feels more personal and it affects me more, I think, than maybe it has in the past. Like what always affected me before is his relationship with Lana, and you know, will they or won't they be together? That kind of thing.
mean,
Everything else is kind of a joke.
Yeah, but I feel like at the same time, we can't get Archer without Lana, or vice versa. So it's gonna happen eventually. It's just gonna take a long time, which I'm totally fine with. Work it up.
For next week, I'd love to see like a Lana heavy episode because we've seen her so little this season so far.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. Aisha Tyler has a crazy busy schedule.
She does.
But I'm interested in launching your Lana. Like, what do you do? What are you about? What
I want to know
are
if she
your
has a secret life.
Yes, secret lover. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I'm also hoping that maybe not next week, but maybe in a week or two, we'll get Mother and Lenny in a room together.
Oh, yeah.
Either coming together as love interests again, and what does that look like? Is it the two of them against the cops in like a Bonnie and Clyde situation?
That would be interesting.
Or do they hate each other until we can see them fight? Either one, totally acceptable.
I'm okay with either one. That sounds great. Both. I don't know.
And then of course I hope we get to see dude with his feet.
Barry.
I want to see Barry with the mechanical feet, and I want to get more into not feet Krieger.
Yes, I'm glad that you brought that up, because somebody brought up the fact that they think that instead of it being just regular, it would be like a steampunk kind of.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, I think that would be really, really cool.
They're definitely kind of like clawed in the drawing, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and it looks like that was from I don't know if that's X19 or XL9. I'm not quite sure.
Well, we appreciate you either way.
Yeah, and then comics and otter goods. Lord. Krieger is going to be an ex-Nazi scientist, which makes sense. That's what I was going to assume was what it was.
But what did he do in Nazi Germany?
Yup, that's the killer. Oh, Renji has a great idea.
Oh, yes.
Maybe they'll finally let us know who Archer's father. Wait, didn't we find out who Archer's father is?
No, we have had a lot of clues to Archer's father,
But we haven't actually gotten a thing.
Yeah, we know he has Archer's blue eyes and dark hair.
That would be great if we could actually get him in his subconscious, or at least him have a makeup version of it, because I don't know if Archer's actually met him yet.
Oh yeah, it's probably Burt Reynolds if he makes it up.
Oh, that'd be kind of nice to see Burt Reynolds again. That would be awesome. I would love that.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Krieger's Nazi past is what interests me the most at this point.
Same.
I mean, if you know anything about your actual Nazi history, the medical experiments that were done at that time, horrific and awful, but did advance a lot of things in medical science and technology. And it'd be very interesting to see if he was a part of that and how he was involved.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to play with that history a little bit, you know?
If I was writing, I'd have him be with the twin study, because it's like one of the most
That one's
awful,
really,
but also
it's
super
also
fascinating.
Yeah.
So those are our predictions. If you're watching and you're enjoying our show, please share your predictions. We love hearing from you guys. You guys have a lot of really great guesses. You cue us in on a lot of news. You can always hit us up in YouTube, in the iTunes chat. Give us those 5 stars. Let our producers know you like what's happening here. You're enjoying the show, and you know, you like us and our faces.
Our faces.
It's helpful. Also, leave comments in the YouTube space. Hit us up on Twitter, where Alexis and I periodically live and house ourselves inside of the Twitter.
So correct.
We will talk to you. You can talk back to us, and we'll try to give everybody shout outs next week who comments on us, because we love you guys and we want you to know that.
Yeah.
Until next week, I have been Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique, and every week at blackgirlnerds.com. If you head over to my Instagram or Twitter space, you can see my photos from the press junket of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Go to Black Girl Nerds Monday morning and check out my review of Guardians of the Galaxy. And in the meantime, there's no Riverdale tonight, but you know, next week it'll be back. Supergirl on Mondays, and the season finale of Powerless is next Wednesday.
Oh my god. That's awesome. You guys, I'm Alexis Torres. You guys can find me again all over the interwebs at atorres890. That's ATORRES 890. I'm doing a crap ton of shows right now. I'm doing 8 shows.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So I have Into the Badlands. I have Archer. I have The 100. I have Supernatural, which usually happens after the show, but because we're off for the next 2 weeks, that is not happening. I have, oh my god, Voltron's coming back, Robots in Disguise is coming back,
Last one.
Crap. I know there's one more I just signed up for. Attack on Titan. That's what it is. I did it. So, 8 shows. That is what I'm doing right now. But most of them are going to be ending soon, and some of them are coming back. We'll see how that happens.
We have no lives. We live for you.
This is it. This is what I'm doing. Possibly also, that's also coming up in a month.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. Woo! But yeah, check me out over there. And also, I will be having some other podcasts that are happening outside of there. So check that out at TrendPunk. That is at trendpunk.com.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.